What's up, it's George the Fragrance Press. I haven't actually been tagged for this. Well, actually, Claire did technically tag the entire world, and I am mostly on here. Obviously, me and FRAG-MENTAL do go and sometimes visit Gallifrey. But when we're here, I think that you know, we do qualify. So, here are 4 fragrances for each season. Now, I didn't want to be cheeky because originally when I picked all of these, they were all niches, and some of you really, you just want your designers. You know, you don't want to be paying a million pounds or dollars or whatever it is for fragrances, and I've got a large designer fan base these days, so I wanted to, you know, be fair to you guys. So it's actually technically 8 fragrances here. It's 4 for each season, but it's going to be 1 designer and 1 niche. So let's start with where we are right now, which is spring. I'm going to go niche first, actually, because these would be my first preferable choices. But for spring, you know, I recently did my spring list, and I talked about this fragrance. I talked about the fact that I'm not completely, you know, I've moved on from this fragrance, which is true, but I have been wearing it. And if you were to really pin me down and say, look, what is the fragrance that represents spring to you completely, like ever, then I would have to take away how I'm feeling right now in this part of my life, and I would have to look at, you know, I'd have to take a step back and look at it on a more objective landscape. And for me personally, this still is the fragrance that represents spring to me, you know, within completely, you know, and that is Citaba from the House of Duetto. A legendary fragrance on this channel, beautiful, mystical, magical fragrance, lots of vetiver, with some soapiness, but it also has a lot of green sweetness. I did a review about this on a barge in the English countryside, probably one of my most favourite reviews I've ever done, a review I'm very proud of, a review that quite a few people know me for. I basically poured my heart out about this fragrance, so go and watch that if you wish. My designer would actually, you know, I've been thinking about this. I've been like, you know, at first I thought Mugler Cologne maybe, because I do like vetiver in this time period, but I was thinking, okay, I've only got 1 fragrance for spring, and I would want something that makes me happy, but it also makes other people feel happy. It would be something that would have to tick a lot of boxes. It would have to be a fragrance that if I was going out, which I'm not right now, you know, none of us are, but, you know, next spring or whatever, you could go out, it'll make people happy, all that good stuff, and something that would, you know, all that good stuff. Just something that just kind of did everything. I would actually say these days, Mont Blanc Explorer. The designer Aventus that takes out all of the dirt and the smoke and the darkness and just replaces it with light positivity and a lot of citruses and really good and fun vibes. I did a review on this. Also, you can go and check that out. Let's get to summer, and let's just get this out of the way, shall we? Shall we just get this out of the way? Yeah, my niche, summer, obviously. Mélisse Impériale, my favourite fragrance of all time. Need I say more, to be honest? You already know about that. Yeah, it's Millie. And on to the designer. I had a similar sort of thought process with Mont Blanc Explorers, and I would want something that is kind of a workhorse in every department, as in it's good for me, it's good for other people, people like it, I'll get some good positive attention from it, and it just has good positive vibes. Summer is still my favourite time of year for fragrances. That's never changed. I thought I would migrate to winter, and you know, because everybody loves winter, dark, deep fragrances, but no, I still love my citrus, I still love my clean, I still love my fresh fragrances. To death, they are still my favourites because I have such good memories. So I would want something that creates a good positive vibe, has all the elements of summer fragrances that I like, and just creates a nice positive vibe. That's a real big thing for me these days. And so I thought about it, and there was only one that really kind of came to mind that fits all of that criteria. Christian Dior's Homme Cologne. This is of course changed recently. It is a little bit different. I have smelt it recently, but it's still really bloody good. If you can get this bottle, which I believe was the 2013 edition, this is the best version of it. The new version's fine, you can buy the new version. It still has that high quality, but this one just for me is somewhat better. Autumn you know, the mentality that I have been having with this list is fragrances that completely represent autumn, you know what I mean, or completely represent the seasons. They have to simultaneously represent the seasons, and they are something that I could just easily wear. And, you know, my autumn number one has changed over the years and it's developed, but I'm going to go back to the one that probably, you know, the list that, the autumn list that everybody knows me for, and I'm going to pick the number one from that, because this really is like autumn in a bottle. It's just amazing and so beautiful, and still one of my favourites of all time. Kissed by Slumber House. Peaches, hay, wood, incredible. Still haven't really smelled anything like this, or anything really, anything remotely close to this. It's an incredible fragrance by Slumber House, and one of my favourites, and one of the fragrances, if not the fragrance, that really turned me on to niche and made me want to take this a lot more seriously. Designer, I'm going to bend the rules here, because I did say that I would stop recommending this fragrance, because it has changed, because there was Mugler got overtaken in February. But for me personally, if you were like, right, you can only have one designer autumn fragrance for the rest of your life, it would still be Angel Mint Pure Malt. No excuses, no apologies. Love this fragrance so much, and my connection with this when I go to Edinburgh is just so solid and so succinct that I need it, baby. I need it. Did a review of this in Edinburgh, in the capital of whiskey, which was amazing. You can go and watch that. But then we get to probably the hardest one. The hardest season for me actually was winter, because at one point, niche, easy, Feb Delicieux, but that's been discontinued, and that's really just kind of pissed me off, and I'm just not interested in even sort of talking about that fragrance anymore, because it's been just treated with such contempt. And if they're not going to take it seriously, why should I take it seriously anymore? It's that kind of thing. I'm going through like the different stages of grief with it. I've just hit anger, you know what I mean? So that's where I am. But honestly, Fev wouldn't be it anymore. I thought it was going to be Tobacco Vanille. Not really. I was happy to give it my number one winter spot last year, because I did the incredible review of Tobacco Vanille in Estonia. It's actually a new fragrance. Well, I say it's new to my collection. The bottle's new, but I've been sampling this for years, since 2018. Since January of 2018, I've been sampling this, and I really did want it. And then on the way back from Los Angeles, I bought a 100ml bottle of this. And yeah, this is probably going to be, spoilers, right, but this is probably going to be my number one winter this coming year, because it's just everything that I want out of a winter fragrance right now. It is a vanilla fragrance from Tom Ford, but it's not Tobacco Vanille. It's Vanilla Fatale. You can tell I'm very serious about this bottle. It's the only 100ml Tom Ford that I own. I just snatched it up when I had the money, when I had the spare money to get this. I was just like, I want the 100ml. I don't want to mess about with the 50. I just want the 100. Yeah, I would have this forever and ever, and use this as my only niche fragrance for winter. And now comes the sad part. Number one, winter designer. Tell you something. At one point I would have said this, easy. There would have been no question. Potion Royal Black. Incredible. Just an incredible. It smells a little bit like, it's like half Royal Oud, but with like a really, really syrupy, sweet rose note. Incredible. Absolutely incredible is that fragrance. So I wish they'd bring it back. It's probably one of the greatest designers ever released in the past 20 years. But I can't pick that, because it's discontinued. I've got this bottle, and I've got a backup bottle of it, thank goodness. And the other fragrance that would have come to mind actually would have been this, 24 Gold. Discontinued, or harshly reformulated. Thank goodness I have a backup bottle of this. So, you know, unfortunately, this fragrance, as much as I love it, it's like third wheel to these other two fragrances. But it is a fragrance that I would be happy to wear in winter, because I really do love it, and you know how much I love it if you've been following this channel. I've been talking about it a lot over the winter, and so yeah, I'd be okay. I'd be happy to have this as my designer fragrance throughout the winter, and that would be Boss the Scent Absolute. I mean, it's very, very strong, incredibly strong, and I have so much love for it. I've talked about it enough, to be honest. You've heard me go on and on and on and on about it. I did a review that you can, of course, go and watch. But that would be, those would be my fragrances if you had to gun to my head, you know, and said, right, you're only allowed one per season. Those would be my fragrances. So I mean, Claire tagged the world. Is there any point of me tagging anybody? I think I will. I think I'll tag Ashton, GENTS. I'm going to tag my friend, my best friend, Chris from FRAG-MENTAL. And I'm not going to stop tagging him, to be honest, until he comes out of retirement and stops fricking about and not uploading. I'm going to tag KILLA FRAGS. KILLA, stop it. Stop making excuses and stop not uploading. We all want to see you. Steve from Frags to Riches in the Scent Geeks mentioned that he wants to see you. Where are you? Come back, KILLA FRAGS. We need you. Anyway, hope that you got some interesting information from this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you like this content, please consider subscribing. Until I see you next, I'm the Fragrance Apprentice. Thanks for watching. Bye.
The slide.